Hey guys, welcome to our live training where we are going to talk about all things math fact fluency and how you can get this up and running in your classroom so that your kids are also fluent in their math facts. My name is Angie Olson and I am the teacher blogger behind Lucky Little Learners, and I am here today to not only teach you about this but tell you a little bit before we get started about why I'm passionate about this topic. First of all, I did get my master's in mathematics 8 years ago or so. I love teaching math. I love teaching teachers how to teach math. And I also love to support teachers. One of the ways that I'm doing this is to give back and to serve you as much as I can. This week, if you're on my email list, you guys received a Sticky Math, which is a math fact fluency drill that you got for free. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, you can actually head over to Lucky Little Learners and sign up today so you can get your weekly freebie during this school year. But going along with that theme of math fact fluency, I'm here today to teach you some things that you can start doing in your classroom today, tomorrow, to get your kids excited about math and learning their math facts. So if you are here, I see hello from Tennessee. Hey, Susan. Please say hi, and we're going to get started. So before we jump into the activities, I want to talk about the why. Why is math fact fluency important? It doesn't matter if it's addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Why is it important? Well, first of all, it's in our standards. It's in our first grade standards, second grade standards, third grade standards for fluency. It's also essential that our kids nail their math facts because it's a foundational skill. All the other math skills kind of get layered on top of that, and if our kids have their math facts down with automaticity, they don't have to spend time getting frustrated with the basics of figuring out how to solve a math fact that can get applied to geometry, measurement, all the other skills. So math fact fluency is incredibly important. Now, I am a big proponent of math fact fluency. Math fact practice needs to happen daily. It needs to be part of our routine. And if we can find activities that we can implement into our classrooms that make it a routine, that we're not having to plan something new every time, that's a bonus, because us teachers, we know we are busy. So before we get started, you will see right now behind me, I have got an addition and subtraction vocabulary anchor chart. I have this here as a reminder that before you jump into having your kids practice their math facts with automaticity, quickly, fluently, the vocabulary needs to be taught and the strategies need to be taught. They need to know what doubles facts are, doubles plus ones, make a 10. All of that stuff is important to teach before you go into getting them to memorize. Now, memorize does not necessarily mean time tests. That I'm going to say for another day. Time tests are not something that I believe in. We can achieve that through other things. Now, that being said, if you're thinking to yourself, well, Angie, we need to get them to solve these quickly, there is ways you can do that through games and activities that put a sense of urgency so they're answering them quickly, but they're not the pressure and anxiety of a time test. So we're going to jump in to 7 activities that you can do in your classroom to start practicing or continue to practice that math fact fluency. Hey, Barbie from Shakopee, Minnesota. Your neighbors, kind of, 4 hours away, but welcome. We're going to jump in. So the first thing is all about using flashcards or decks of cards. I can't find, because I'm at home, I don't have my other flashcards, but I have these. Whatever flashcards you use, they don't have to be these at all. Flashcards are great for a lot of things that can be done real quick and easily. The first thing is something called Around the World. I think a lot of you probably know what Around the World is. Simply take your class and they're at their tables, they're at their desks. You have 2 students stand up next to each other. The teacher shows the math fact. Whoever solves it first moves on to the next child. They continue to do this, hence the name Around the World, in an effort to try to get as many math facts solved quickly and correctly first. One little trick that I always tell my students is when you are sitting down, your eyes should be watching, because if you're watching, you're learning, and when you're learning, you're going to get to your turn and you're going to be ready to go. Whereas if you're daydreaming, you know how that'll go. So Around the World is one quick and easy thing that you can do in your classroom. Another thing that we can do in our classrooms are a game called Royalty, again with flashcards. A similar concept, you take your class and you put them in one long row, and then the front two people will kind of be dueling it out. Those front two people will see this card, they're going to say 11. Whoever says it first gets to have the card and take it to and stay in front of the line. The person that doesn't answer it first goes to the end, or if you want to keep the card, that's fine. And then the next two go. First person to say 8 would stay there. The person that didn't get it right goes to the back of the line. It's really nice if you can do more than one group for your classroom, more than one game going on at one time. I think the first time you do it, you train them when you're the person that's holding it, but then later you can actually get your kids involved as the person that's holding the card, and it is still beneficial for them because they are also getting a chance to be exposed to these math facts and learn them or help to memorize them as well. So that is Royalty. Another one that you can do, and actually I'm going to show you some really fun cards that you can get. You can get them off Amazon. You can get them, actually if you go to luckylittlelearners.com on the top right, you can go to Amazon shop and you will see a link for these. So these are extra large Uno cards. I also have extra large playing cards. And now you don't need these, of course, but these are a fun option. Kids love to play with them. But when I'm talking about playing cards like these, you can do a game called War is how I remember learning it. Probably not the most appropriate right now, so top it if you're familiar with everyday math. Basically what happens when you're playing this game is kids are with partners. You could even do groups of 3. Each person has their own deck of cards. They take 2 off the top and they lay them down on the floor. And then they add them. 7 plus 2 is 9. Their partner does the same. So this would be their partner's card. And they have 6 plus 5 is 11. What sum is larger? 6 plus 5 is larger or greater than 7 plus 2. So they would get all the cards. You can also do this with subtraction and have the answer that's the lowest be the winner of the cards. And then repeat. So that's a fun one. Again, both of these sets of cards can be purchased off Amazon. If you want a direct link, you can go to luckylittlelearners.com, go up to the top right where it says Amazon shop and find the link there. And then the last thing I have real quick with cards would be Ticket to Pass. That's just real quick and easy. When your kids are going to recess, they're going to lunch, you have some flashcards on a ring or just in a pile, and before they head out the door to recess, you say, solve it. Next one, solve it. Next one, solve it. And it takes maybe 2 minutes. If that, whip through the line, they're off to recess. They're always being exposed to something when it comes to math fact fluency. So another good one. Moving on to something called musical math and sticky math. The reason I'm combining both of them is because sticky math can also be used for musical math. So let me explain sticky math first so that you can get an idea of how this works. So sticky math is a fun activity that you can do with your students. This is a whole group activity. This is definitely not a time test, and I'm going to tell you how they are different. So every student in your class is going to get some kind of sheet protector. Again, these are just little Pocket Pals, Smart Pals, pocket protectors. Again, you can get them on Amazon, you can get Target, wherever. And you slip your sticky math sheet in there for each student. The reason they need this is because they need to be easy, write on, wipe off, okay? What they're going to do is every kid gets the same level. Now that's where time tests are different. You're going to sit and have to keep track of your data. You need to keep track of rights and wrongs. You need to keep track of what level is who. You need to make all these extra copies. Again, I'm not going to even get going. But what I will say with sticky math is you stick them in a sheet. They're all on the same level. The student needs a marker and eraser. And when you say go, they have 30 seconds to a minute. You decide what your time limit is or more. And they're going to start solving. They're going to start with number 1 and they're going to go down like a time test, but here's where it's different. When you say stop, they're going to stick their sticky note on the after the last problem that they solved. They are going to correct their own paper. You aren't going to correct it. They're going to correct their own. They're going to circle the ones they got wrong. They're going to write their own total of number correct for attempt number 1. They're going to leave the sticky note there and they're going to erase their answers. Okay, they're not going up on a big data wall for all their peers to see so that they're embarrassed or there's bragging opportunities or what have you. But listen, that's not all. Then what they're going to do is leave the sticky note there. They're going to go through this drill again, same amount of time, doing the same thing, go through with a goal of beating where their sticky note is. If they can beat that, it's their own personal little success, hooray, celebration. If they can't, they have that in their head, well, I need to push harder next time, or I need to get better. They have their own intrinsic self-motivation. It's not on display. They don't have to compare their numbers with others. The other way this is different, and you're going to do this 3 times, okay? I have a variety of sheets, all for different levels. We have +0s to +12s, I think, -0s to -12s, and then multiplication and division. They also have the mixed ones in here. What I will say with the sticky math is the kids love it. The kids don't feel that anxiety. The teacher isn't making the copies. The teacher isn't correcting all the papers. The students are getting immediate feedback, and the kids are moving on to the levels together. So the biggest thing is they're getting exposure to practicing their math facts. So after you've been on +2s, move on to +3s as a class. The whole class, everyone's doing it together. So that is sticky math. Going along with the sticky math sheets, something called musical math. I'm going to keep this out. For musical math, you can use the same sticky math sheets, the same pocket protectors. You don't need the Post-it. You will need some music. So what the kids will do is they'll start their own table spot. You'll start the music, and they're going to start solving their problems until the music stops. You're going to play it for maybe 10 seconds. Then at the time of the music stopping, they're going to hop over to one spot over, and they're going to pick up where the person next to them left off. When the music starts again, they're going to try to solve as many as they can. Music stops, they shift to the next one, and continue with a goal of getting all the sheets in the classroom done by the time your music has finished or the game has finished. Again, kind of like a time test, but you're not comparing data, you're not giving kids anxiety. And at the end, I should mention, when they get to they're going to go back to their table spot or their desk spot, and at the end, you're going to correct these together, going over the answers together as a class. So that's just another reinforcer of those math facts. So that is musical math. The next one is a fun activity that you can do in your classroom. Mine, because I am home, I have it on anchor chart paper. You don't need anchor chart paper for this. You can simply draw this on your whiteboard. What you're going to do is you're going to make this grid, kind of these lines, and this is the number that changes. So if you're leaving it on anchor chart paper and you just want to laminate it to reuse it, that's fine. These numbers will stay. Leave this place white because you're going to add in numbers to as you play the game. So for racing facts, what you do is you have your class in 2 groups, 2 lines. The front person is holding the marker, okay? One racing facts game is going to have maybe +8s. The one over here might have +6, okay? They are different facts unless you put them at different parts of the room where they can't copy their answers. When the teacher says go, the front person takes the marker and they run to the poster. They're going to pick one fact to solve. 8 plus what? 8 plus 2 equals 10. They write a 10 here. They turn around and they run back and give the marker to the next person at the front of the line. That next person grabs the marker. They run back over. They solve the math fact that they choose. Bring it back to the next person in the front of the line. When all facts are answered correctly and the team agrees with their answers that are up there, they sit down. The first team to sit down and have all of them correct are the winners for that one round. It'll be easy to play this multiple times. All you need to do is erase the 8+, change it to a different number, and play again. So racing facts, fun game. Promotes that teamwork, collaboration. They get excited for each other. They cheer for each other. It's a great option. The next one I want to show you, this one actually, when you catch this on the replay, or if you want to come back to this, or if you want to screenshot this now, I'm going to show you some websites and apps. Most of them are free. A couple of them have a small expense that I feel are great for practicing math fact fluency. They can be a website or an app, so go ahead and take screenshots, or if you're coming back on the replay, you can get it then, or you can pause the video once it's a replay and you can copy these down. All of these are great for practicing math facts. Again, combination of websites and apps. Mostly free, a couple are paid. If you want me to go into more detail of these, over at luckylittlelearners.com, if you go to search and you just type in math facts, there is a blog post, I think it says 35 foolproof ways to practice math fact fluency. Click on that, and these will be in that post, and it'll explain them more in better detail. Thanks, Lynetta. Let's keep going. The next one is a game called Pig Out. And for this one, what you will need is some kind of either a piece of paper or a marker board to keep track of points. It is one student against the other student, and it is done with dice. Now, before I go much farther, can I just talk about my love for dice? As dumb as that sounds, I love dice. And the reason I love dice is because dice provide an easy way to differentiate activities so that you can hit all the needs of your students. So if you are a first grade teacher and you have some low babies that struggle with this math fact fluency stuff, give them the dice, okay? Use that one-to-one correspondence and get them to solve their math problems with these. By the way, these foam dice are the best because they are super quiet. They also have the digit dice. You can use this. This is another step up. You can get 8-sided dice. 8-sided dice are nice because those numbers clearly then go to 8. You can get 12-sided dice. Again, the numbers just increase. Another thing you could do to differentiate if you got higher second graders, you could just get blank cube dice, use those little dot stickers and put your own numbers on them. They're a great way to differentiate. So for the game Pig Out, you're going to need, each player needs 2 dice. And really that's another way you could differentiate. You could do 3 dice, 4 dice, etc. And the total that the students are trying to get to is 50, okay? If you want to change that number, of course you can as the teacher. So what they do is they take their turn and they're going to roll 2 dice and they're going to add them together. Now, one thing I will say is that you're going to have a certain number that is the designated number as the scratch number, or like the pig out number, like the number that kind of clears everything and the one they want to stay away from. So for example, on this recording sheet, let's say the answer or the number is 4. So when you roll the dice, you want to stay away from 4s. So let's say I roll and I get a 6 and a 6. So my answer is 6 plus 6 is 12, and they would write that on here. So just as an example, this would be an example of a game. They did 5 plus 1 as their first roll, and then what they did was they had maybe rolled 1 and 1. They got 2, so they added 6 to 2 and 6 and 2, and I got 9. That's not right. 6 and 2 to get 8, and then they kept going. Now they have to decide. That's gonna bug me, so I have to change that. That's funny. They have to decide when they want to stop, because when they stop, that's their safe number. They can stop at any number, any amount of times, but if they get a 4 in their roll, they go to 0 and they give up their turn, and it goes to the person they're playing. So again, magic number 50 or whatever you want, and that is Pig Out. So there's lots of adding going on in this game. Super fun. All right, the next one is Fluency Sticks. Oh, and you know what? I didn't mention this. Okay, so the Fluency Sticks, and then if you were watching during the Sticky Math, these are linked in the video of this post. And right now, they are, you can actually get $5 off of anything in my store by using the code LUCKY5 that you see up here at the top of the screen. So Sticky Math and Fluency Sticks are both in my store right now. Fluency Sticks are fun because they can be used at home or they can be used at school. It's a great way to get parents involved in knowing where their kids are at so that when they come for conferences, it is no surprise. They know exactly where their kids are at. It's also a great thing for kids to have in their routine. We talked about math facts just being part of their routine. So briefly, again, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. I'm going to show you addition for right now. With these Fluency Sticks, basically you use a ruler and they have the holes, or you can just use a paint stick at like Home Depot and they'll drill the holes in there for you. And you're going to use these little open close rings. Now, the bottom will say not yet, the middle will say progressing, the top will say achieved. The top ring eventually, if they're keeping them on there, they're going to want to keep, you're going to want probably a bigger ring on the top. The progressing ring, you only have 10 at a time, and there is a little 10 number down here, so it kind of tells them how many they can have. And the not yet is an undetermined amount, depending on how many you have. The kids are going to practice these 10. When they've practiced these 10, their answers are on the back. They can self-check. It is independent. It can be part of their daily routine, part of their homework. The teacher is going to want to check for mastery. So you could do 5 kids a day. You could do it on Fridays. You could have it be part of their morning routine, wherever you can see fit, where you want to fit that in. When they've mastered those facts on that fact on a ring, they move it up to achieved, with the goal of having all of them up here and working their way up. So if you move 3 up from the progressing, you move 3 up from the not yet to the progressing, okay? Within these Math Fact Fluency Sticks, there are tracker sheets, which are nice for the kids and the parents to kind of see their visual progress. Again, this is not something that is out there for all the kids in the class to see. The kids are tracking their own data. You can help them track their data. The parents are seeing this, and then when parent-teacher conferences come, they know exactly where their child is at, and they can also see where they're getting hung up. Is it doubles facts they're having a hard time with? Is it +9s? Okay, so that is part of the Math Fact Fluency Sticks. Again, all in my store. Lucky 5 gets you $5 off your order. And the last thing I want to talk about, and this was just kind of a fun little something to have in the classroom as an early finisher, or it can be homework, are these color by number sheets. Now, I have to tell you, so these are from the pack for basic facts, for basic addition and subtraction. I have them for basic, and I have them for 2-digit subtraction and addition. What I love about them is they have that predictable format with the answer key or the color key on top. And then this set in particular was from the fall set. The link to the bundle is actually again in this video. But what I love about these are not only do the kids enjoy these, but they are not predictable. So when they get this, it's hard to see when it's colored, but when they get this sheet and it's black and white, the person that created the design template of these color by numbers did a fabulous job with not making it predictable. So if they get this, they're not going to see a scarecrow. And the reason that's important to note, I guess, is that when they're doing this, so often some color by numbers are so predictable that they can look at it and be like, oh, that's hair. Oh, hair's yellow. Go up here. Oh, all yellow answers are 10. And then they go ahead and just put in all the 10s. That's not the case for these. If I had a black and white one, I could show you, and I don't have one in front of me. But these are a nice option. Again, Math Fact Fluency, fun way to practice those. Great for homework, early finishers, or even just simply an independent practice type of activity. So that is it, you guys. Those are actually more than 7. Those were probably about 12 activities that you can do for Math Fact Fluency. Don't forget, right now, Lucky 5 is the promo code. Gets you $5 off your order. All the links to the products that I have shared are in the video above. Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in this video. Comment in there, and I will be around for the rest of the night and days ahead to answer any questions. You can also email me at Angie@luckylittlelearners.com. If you go to my website, luckylittlelearners.com, I have a lot of blog posts about Math Fact Fluency. I am just such a strong pusher of getting these kids fluent with their math facts. And so if you go to my website, you're going to see a lot of helpful blog posts. You're going to see things that I haven't even had a chance to talk about on here, like shut the box. Oh gosh, I'm trying to even think off the top of my head. There's like tons and tons of activities that I haven't even had a chance to mention. So head over there if you also have any questions. I appreciate you guys being here. You guys do amazing work. You have the most important job on the planet, and I am just happy that I can be here to support you and provide just resources for you, and I thank you for being here. You guys have a great night, and we'll talk to you later.